Good evening. My name is Steve Chernishoff. I'm going to start off this evening with a critique of the Council. In the coming year, Invercargill City Council will collect approximately $63 million in rates bills. Our company, Invercargill City Holdings Limited, which is 100% owned by the Invercargill City Council, is projected to bring in $5.85 million. We'll spend $18 million on core infrastructure. According to projections, we will be selling $16.85 million worth of assets, and we'll buy $5.6 million worth of new assets. As a council, we will claim back $28 million from our public infrastructure through tax depreciation and writing off aged assets. The Invercargill City's income will reach almost $100 million in this coming financial year. There are three main categories for spending at the Invercargill City Council. 1. Works and services, which includes community development, attractions, parks and services, museums, art gallery services, waste management and infrastructure. 2. Finance and corporate services, council-controlled organisations, housing care services and investment properties. 3. Environmental and planning services, animal services, building services, compliance, environmental health and resource management. All of these services that we hold, apart from Invercargill City Holdings Limited, including Invercargill Venue and Events Management, South and Museum costs, art gallery services, sports and recreation services, are projected to bring in $0 income. We plan to spend $25.4 million on employee expenses. The Invercargill City Council will have 1 mayor, 12 city councillors and 400 plus employees. Additionally, as part of our paid staff, we will also have council committee members, council community board members, council controlled organisations. We manage Invercargill City Holdings Limited, Electricity Limited, Invercargill City Forests Limited, Invercargill Airport, Invercargill City Property Limited, Bluff Maritime Museum, South Museum and Art Gallery Trust, Invercargill City Charitable Trust. Invercargill City is set up to manage our city's regulatory obligations. We're doing a great deal to follow much of the Local Government Act 2002, which defines the role of the council authority. Through the Invercargill City Council, we're focusing most strongly on managing environmental, resource and transport planning issues. The Government Act 2002 states that a council exists for the governance and management of an area. The governing body of a council is responsible and democratically accountable for decision-making around such acts as the Resource Management Act, the Health Act 1956, the Building Act and the Civil Defence Emergency Act 2002. Decision-making around transport networks and infrastructure, activities allocated to the governing body, decision-making around the establishment and maintenance of service facilities, decision-making around the council-controlled organisations, decision-making about compliance and financial management, reaching agreements with local boards in respect to activities. All very serious, isn't it? Each council decision is either regulatory or non-regulatory. A regulatory decision relates to the responsibility, duty or power which the council has been given by legislation. A non-regulatory activity is simply a decision that does not relate to a regulatory responsibility, duty or power, but this side of council is to function in a manner that promotes the current and future interests of the community. The distinction between these two kinds of offerings is, firstly, the governing body is responsible for the council's regulatory decision-making. They must obey the laws. Secondly, council's non-regulatory decisions are more to do with what is best for the people beyond laws. A local authority must manage its revenues, expenses, assets, liabilities, investments, general financial dealings prudently and in a manner that promotes the current and future interests of the community. A local authority must offer the distribution of benefits between community as a whole and any identifiable part of the community and the individuals. We do have a culture that we've developed through the Invercargill City Council which affects every single person in the city and everyone we connect with. The Invercargill City Council has made and implemented plans that have strong infrastructural service priorities, and we clearly state that we have a need for a diverse and growing economy, healthy lifestyles and a healthy environment, a city that is a great place to live and visit. But it appears that our city's focus is stuck on regulations, making sure that people have the ability to travel efficiently and effectively, safely throughout the district, sewage is collected, treated and appropriately disposed of, that waste is regularly collected and disposed of, stormwater is collected and discharged of, a safe, reliable water supply is provided, and the council procedures are done. We aim to have systems in place to lead our people in emergency. We have environmental and work-safe policies ensuring businesses are clean and healthy. Animal control services have recently been updated to ensure dogs are well controlled. We have strong regulation services when it comes to managing poor vehicle parking. We control the sale of alcohol. We try to put measures in place to protect the environment. What this says is that Invercargill City is very diligent when it comes to being responsible for legislation and control requirements outlined in the Government Act 2002 and other legal acts. What we lack is vibrant community services and activities. Many people, both locals and visitors, say that the city lacks vibe, fun and activities. They say we have a wonderful local beauty, but it's hard to enjoy it because the events and services on offer do not feel like they are run well. We lack innovative leaders. What we need is to strengthen our community services and activities through the Invercargill City Council and associated groups. We need to empower the community. But what we most importantly need is to align each department of council with an aspect of community education. We must go beyond just managing legislation and control, regulatory decisions. We must move towards encompassing strong, non-regulatory activity, which empowers all levels of our community by resourcing them with the knowledge of how to take part in community, build their dreams, develop their ideas, offer services, and build the life they want. Ordinary people need access to resources that Invercargill City Council offers. They should benefit the community as a whole. This means empowering any identifiable part of the community. Less educated people, less privileged people, those who may not have money or status or their own home. This means increasing community resilience by changing the focus of power so that councils empower the people. There are too many barriers in place with people, but life does not have to be this way. To increase wellbeing in Southland, I propose that we empower the public through the effective distribution of information. We can unpack and demystify laws. We can take away fear of the unknown relating to the management of resources, building codes, requirements, health and safety, processes involved in setting up new initiatives. The Council can oversee initiatives with a strong understanding of the law, but we can present the law so that everyone can understand the steps involved and feel empowered to create services in Southland. The Resource Management Act, the Health Act, the Building Act and the Civil Defence Emergency Act do not have to be scary. We need to unpack them and make them understood. We need to give power back to the public because this is truly in their best interests. We need a city and a region that grows. First, we must grow the enthusiasm and capacity of the people who already live here. Then we will see the food industry being redesigned so that local people eat local food. Then we will see large groups of Southlanders dressing up and going out to the stylish new establishments in town. Then we'll see business people connecting in cafes, discussing action plans and agreeing to activate their ideas. Then we'll see innovative housing solutions and people truly expressing themselves because they belong here. I've spoken to many people who have great dreams, visions or plans which get held up for weeks or months because it is unclear how to get the approval of authorities. It should be fun to work with local government and opening a restaurant, cafe or bar. Resources for finding out how to extend a house or extend our properties with external buildings to a section should be something that the council lavishes on the people. Otherwise, without the right support, there are just too many laws. There is just too much to learn and there is almost an underlying fear behind every action. Community education is our biggest offering for the way forward. I want us to take this message on and believe in the people. Ordinary people can do extraordinary work, but we must show them the tools. We can build a way forward for people to understand what it is they need to do and build a culture where everyone knows how to get things done in this city.